Parashat Behar begins with the famous mitzvah of Shemitah. And of course, there's a very, very famous pasuk with a monumental statement of Chazal. Vaydaber Hashem Moshe Behar Sinai Leimor. When Hashem introduces the mitzvah of Shemitah, Hashem talks to Moshe Rabbeinu, Behar Sinai, at Har Sinai. And Rashi quotes the Chazal that tell us, wait a second, all of the mitzvahs of the Torah were given in Har Sinai. What's so special about the mitzvah of Shemitah that we say the place it was given was Har Sinai? So Rashi quotes, and we'll summarize that just like Shemitah, all of the principles, but also the details were given in Har Sinai, so too we can extrapolate that all of the mitzvahs of the Torah were given both in detail and in principle at Har Sinai. That, of course, begs the question, why was Shemitah chosen to be the mitzvah that expresses that idea, that brings out that concept, that all of the mitzvahs, the details, the principles, were presented to us at Har Sinai? Well, the answer is very, very straightforward. That the truth be told, the mitzvah of Shemitah is the base and the basis in concept and hashkafa and outlook for what the mitzvahs of the Torah are all about. Shemitah is a mitzvah that comes and tells us that the very physical land that we live in has kedusha, has a sanctity to it. The fruits that grow during the Shemitah year have kedusha shviyas. We treat them in a special way. They're holy. The stuff that comes out of the ground, the very dirt that exists everywhere in the world, but in Eretz Yisrael, that has kedusha. That's expressed so poignantly during the year of Shemitah. The way we treat the land, the way we respect the very, very ground that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. We treat it with mitzvah orientation, with kedusha orientation. And the truth is, we look through all the other mitzvahs that are there. In the Parashat Behar, we find a very similar thing. There are details and mitzvahs of how we interact in our business dealings, how we make a kinyana, how we buy and sell things, being fair, being just, being right, how we deal with workers, the way we buy and sell real estate in the various cities in Eretz Yisrael. All those ideas are revolving around the concept that the very physical world that we live in can be a place of sanctity, can be a place of kedusha if we relate to it properly, if we choose to use everything properly. And just like Shemitah, that concept was given in Har Sinai, so to all of the mitzvahs of the Torah, all revolve around that central theme of trying to make our life and our world a life of kedusha and elevating and sanctifying everything. There's a beautiful thought by the late Lubavitcher Rebbe who points out that when it came to Har Sinai, and certainly we're thinking about as we approach the upcoming holiday of Shavuos, the time of Matan Torah, Hashem chose Har Sinai, the Chazal's expression, it was Machich Mikol Turai. It was lower than all of the other mountains. Ask the Lubavitcher Rebbe, wait, if you want a low place, give the Torah in a valley. If you want a mountain, find a high mountain to give. Why is there somewhere in the middle? It was the lowest of all the mountains. Many ideas have been said, but one simple thought that he expressed, which is really so beautiful. Hashem wanted to show us the following thing. To give the Torah in a valley, we might have looked at that and said, a valley that's down in the dumps, down in the dirt. We show that we can pick that up a little bit. There's a mountain. We're not going to be high up in the sky. We're not going to be Baalei Gaiva and have the haughtiness, etc., that large, huge, amazing, things have. But we want to show that we're not down in the dirt dumps either. Over here in this world, we're elevated. We're a step above everything else that exists in the world. There is kedusha. There's sanctity in all of the human activity that everyone else in the world is engaged in. But we as Jews do that in an entirely different plane. And that's our goal and mission, not just during the Shemitah year, but in everything that we do. And of course, nowhere is that expressed more and lived more than here in the land of Israel, here in Eretz Yisrael, where everything that we do contributes to the mitzvah of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, of building and settling in Eretz Yisrael, not just building homes, but commerce and high-tech and everything that we do, making this a flourishing, amazing a country the way it is. That has kedusha, that has sanctity to it. Of course, all the mitzvot that we do here in Eretz Yisrael are raised up in plain, but every little detail of our daily life has a sanctity to it. Right outside in my yard, we made a point when we moved into this house to plant trees and a garden to make sure we're able to do trumot and masrot and have kedusha shriyas, make sure we're not dealing with kilayim, etc. Because what an opportunity to take. I'm a Rosh Yeshiva, a rabbi, I'm not necessarily a farmer, but to be able to be outside on a regular basis, growing the trees, plucking the fruit, making sure it works, and learning about things that back in the 5 towns where I came from before, I didn't know anything about. But here, it's a life of Kedusha, and even when our hands are getting dirty out there in the mud. And of course, over the course of this year, when we saw what our chayalim, what a Jewish army was doing, the way we treat other human beings, and we know for ourselves, and we have to strengthen that. We know how human the army is, how caring they are to try to protect the civilians, how in every way and shape or form, the kedusha of what a machaneh Yisrael, what a Jewish army camp is done and is tried to be upkept, is something that's so incredible and so moving. Why? Because everything, even when the going gets tough, can be done with kedusha, can be done with sanctity. Watching chayalim, whether they're questions, and so many questions were sent to us over the course of this year, but whether they're questions in daily tefillot, how to daven in this situation, seasonal mitzvos about making the sdarim in a tank or lighting Hanukkah candles, and you're not quite sure if you're going to take over that building, move in to have a house that you can move in. Do I light in a jeep? Do I light in a tent? Everything that was going on, how do I take the most difficult of circumstances and transform them into moments of greatness and moments of kedusha? All of those who are sitting right now in Chutz La'aretz, throughout the diaspora, who are both coming to visit here in Eretz Yisrael, but also who are sending things to the soldiers, coming and trying to make sure that everyone is taken care of. We can all be engaged in acts of human kedusha, daily things that we do that are the essence of what the mitzvah of Shemitah is all about, elevating the mundane into something that's incredibly kadosh, it's something that's incredibly special. Of course, we're davening, we're mitpalel every single day, 3 times a day, if not more. We see the ultimate expression of kedusha, building a bayis for Hashem, a home for Hashem, a Beit HaMikdash. We'll be able to see the Shekhinah HaKedusha living here in Eretz Yisrael. Be'ezrat Hashem, that will come soon, and Be'ezrat Hashem will do our part to be able to actually behold, to see, V'techazena eineinu b'shuvacha v'tzion b'rachamim, and to see the Malchus Shamayim be expressed in its full glory here in Eretz Yisrael and spreading throughout the world. Shabbat Shalom to all.